Hey there guys, welcome to another edition of Time About the Movies. Today we're looking at the movies that were released over the weekend of March 24th, 1989. So let's get right to it. Let's start off with the first movie. John Frankenheimer's directed this one, starring Don Johnson. It's Dead Bang. So like I said, directed by John Frankenheimer, this movie is based around a real-life detective, Jerry Beck, who tracks the killer of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy and uncovers a plot involving hate literature, white supremacy militias, and arms trafficking. Yep, that's pretty much the 80s. I mean, we can make fun of this stuff now as long as it's in a generic cop movie, but not every one of these movies can be kind of like Mississippi Burning, where they tried to take it seriously. And this is definitely not one of John Frankenheimer's best works. I mean, John Frankenheimer, if you don't know who he is, he's behind such movies as Ronin, Black Sunday, Grand Prix, the original Manchurian Candidate. This was during a stretch where he wasn't really putting together a whole lot of his best stuff. I mean, this was pretty much near the tail end of his career, too. And Don Johnson, just like Tom Selleck, he's coming off a big TV show, Miami Vice, and he's just taking whatever he can get as far as film roles, maybe to potentially break out as a potential movie star. And not everybody can be just like Bruce Willis, who just hit the ground running when he started Die Hard at the peak of moonlighting success. But I mean, I don't think Don Johnson's a bad actor. I just don't think he was perfectly cast for this. Like, there's times in this trailer where he's not really acting. He's trying too hard to really be this tough guy. And even on the poster for this movie, he doesn't even look like that poster does not look threatening for him. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. I mean, does that look threatening to you? It certainly doesn't do that for me. Yeah, I don't know. This is just one of those movies where I think Don Johnson was just grabbing the first script he can find, see if that turns him into a movie star, and didn't do so well. The movie was not the big hit that he was hoping for, probably, and he spent a couple of years trying to figure out whether or not he'd be worthy of box office potential. So yeah, not a memorable movie to start off with for this weekend. Not a great movie to start off with, but the next movie, probably not any better, but it has some nostalgic factor for me. So here's True Beverly Hills. Directed by the same man that would do Revenge of the Nerds. Well, he did Revenge of the Nerds, and then he did this movie. You want to see the best thing about this movie? The intro by John Kay, the guy who would later do Ren and Stimpy. That's probably the best thing about this movie, because after that, not a great movie. Like, I remember watching it on Disney Channel back in the 90s, but other than that, it's not that good of a movie. I mean, Shelley Long was great on Cheers. In terms of her movie career, not so good. Like, there hasn't been, I don't even think I can name one good Shelley Long movie outside of Outrageous Fortune. If I think that's what it's called, Outrageous Fortune. Yeah, Outrageous Fortune, and also The Money Pit. This is like right when she was about to leave Cheers, but like, she did find her way into some decent comedies, like the Brady Bunch movies, Dr. T and the Women, and Modern Family. She was pretty good on Modern Family, but there was a stretch where a lot of people thought Shelley Long was going to have this great career as a movie star, and not everything was clicking. And this is just one of those movies that wasn't really clicking all that well. Remember watching it a lot on Disney Channel, but like I said, the animated intro is probably the only great thing about this movie, at least to me, at least. So we're not off to a good start this week. Is for the movies this weekend, but maybe Robert Englund can turn it around. Freddy Krueger directing. Did he direct this movie? I'm not too sure. But anyway, Robert Englund's 976 Evil. And yes, he did direct this movie. I had to look it back up again. There was a time when Robert Englund, after Nightmare on Elm Street, he was trying to break out into different things, but he just basically kept staying in the horror genre. There was this, and then he tried to do like a horror version of Phantom of the Opera, which wasn't all that successful. And yeah, you can kind of see why this one didn't take off as well. Like, it is kind of a mediocre-looking movie. You expect more from Robert Englund as a filmmaker, maybe, but yeah, this movie really didn't work all that well. It didn't have the same power that the Nightmare on Elm Street movies do, and I think it was the only movie that Robert Englund ever directed, as far as I know. But Yeah, nothing too interesting about that. Nothing too interesting came out this weekend. It was just mostly just forgettable stuff. And it's going to be like that for next week, too. Although there was one movie that would have a cult following that we'll definitely get into, which is probably the best thing that's coming out over the next 2 weeks. So definitely be on the lookout for that for the next episode. That'll be on Sunday, because tomorrow will be a new Movie Stop episode. So once again, thank you guys for watching this video. I wish I would have given you some more to work with, but not a good weekend this weekend. So I'll see you guys for the next episode on Sunday, and until then, take care.